Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the webinar. Today we will be discussing partial refunds and accounts receivable. My name is Nicole Harris, and I am the supervisor in our support department, and I am joined today by Diane Clem.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, let's get started with our presentation. Partial refunds and accounts receivable. How do I perform a partial refund? The things that we're going to cover during this presentation are, one, your billing group setup to make sure that we have the proper charge codes in place for this to be effective. We're going to actually perform the partial refund. And finally, we're going to show you how to account for this partial refund in your general ledger. At the end of the presentation, we will answer your questions. Please feel free during the presentation to ask any questions that you like, and we will go ahead and answer those at the end. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. From our magic screen, what we're going to do is we're going to locate the person that we wish to give a partial refund for. And I'd like to point out that we are going to be demoing this particular process in our newest release of Rapattoni Magic, which is 9.2813. It is now available, so if you'd like to be upgraded, please give us a call and we will get you on the schedule. In addition to the upgrade, you will receive release notes, which will detail all of the changes that are in this newest release. Okay? So we are going to go to our managers, membership, member information form. We're going to look up the person that we're going to give a partial refund for. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and press enter, and we're going to be using this person as an example. So we want to refund Mr. Adams his local dues. Now he's paid his entire dues, but we want to give him back just the local portion. So in this instance, I'm going to navigate to this person's accounts receivable, and we're going to go to the member section. And if this screen looks a bit different to you than what you're used to, keep in mind again, this is our newest release of Rapattoni Magic, so there are several fields that have been added. Again, please give us a call if you'd like to have an upgrade, and the release notes will be sent explaining all of these recent changes. But for this particular process, we're going to go ahead and move on to our receipt history section. So we want to get to the receipt that we actually had originally for this payment. So in the receipt history, we locate the receipt that we're going to give a partial refund to. And in this case, for our example, it's going to be this receipt here. We want to go ahead and refund this member $100, which in this display and example is the amount of the local dues. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and click on Issue Credit. Now you will be presented with this information box if your association does the dues split, meaning the state and national dues are split at the time of payment and go to state and national directly. What this is telling you is that any refund that you give, if you give all of the money back or part of the money back, any money that you refund to this member will be taken out of your local bank account, and you will need to figure out how to manage that money beyond that. So you'll need to figure out how to get that back. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click OK here. Now, it's going to ask us for a batch. So in this case, I'm going to select this particular batch. And please keep in mind that the batch that you use must be, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom on this, the batch that you use must be set to credit card verifying options as immediate. So it needs to be one of your credit card processing batches. Okay. And in this display, I do not have a password here, so I'm going to go ahead and skip past that. Now you have the option of either a full refund or a partial refund. So in this case, we want to do a partial refund. We click on this, it then opens up this particular field, and we can go ahead and put in our $100. In addition, you have an option to either refund to the original credit card of the purchase or a new credit card. And reasons for new credit card could be that the old credit card has now expired. So if you tried to issue a credit back to it, it would reject it. So if there's a new one, you can put in that information here or use the original. The information here comes from the member's preferred mailing address. So, and in this, again, in this example, this is not a live software program. It's not a live, it's a demo. So if I can't click create credit to show you exactly the final process, but when you click create credit, your receipt history will be reflected. And after this part of it, then we're going to go into the section of where we account for this in the GL. So we're going to go ahead and get back to our main screen, and we're going to go ahead and display how we go about accounting for the GL.
To account for the GL, you're going to do that through the cash receipts posting form. You can get there either by clicking on the cash register on the toolbar, or you can use your hotkeys by pressing Alt-M AAC. Now we're in the cash receipts posting form. We're going to use F5 to zoom in and select our batch. Once we've selected the batch, then we're going to go ahead and select the member. And you can see that when we issued that partial credit, there was a transaction created on the member's AR. This transaction uses the ADJ charge code, which points to the liability account on your GL. The next thing we need to do is to create an invoice to tell Magic exactly what we want to refund the money for. Because it's a refund, it's going to be a negative quantity. Because we're refunding local dues, we're going to use the charge code for local dues for 2011. Which is 1110. Once we've verified this is exactly what we want to do, the negative $100 value for 2011 local dues, we're going to click on charge twice, and you're going to see both transactions in the member's AR. You want to apply these to each other using a non-monetary $0 transaction. Now you're going to tab off the field. You're going to pay one transaction, you're going to pay the other transaction, verify that remaining to apply is 0, and you're going to post the payment. And now you have successfully told Magic exactly what amount you want to refund and where you want those refund monies to go.
Okay. Excellent. Now we would like to go ahead and switch this off to our question and answer section. So we will go ahead and expand that section here for you so we can get some questions answered. And I will go ahead and have Diane ask the questions and we'll get this going.
Okay, first question is there a similar process for checks when we have to mail a check refund?
The answer to that is it's similar, yes. It's very similar. Would prefer that if you have an instance like this to give us a call. It's a tad bit different, but it is very similar in terms of creating an invoice, a refund, a check, like a refund invoice to apply to the actual invoice that's outstanding. So yes, but give support a call and we can definitely answer that for you.
Next question is, sometimes it won't allow me to refund to the card. It tells me that if it's already been processed by NAR, that it's already been processed by NAR. What are the rules around refunds to a credit card?
Well, it's interesting in that instance because I'd have to see if it says it's already been processed by NAR. There may be several factors. So again, that may be something that we would have to discuss one-on-one. Generally, if the card is still active, it hasn't expired, and when we do these refunds, either if you're doing a full refund or a partial refund, it has a transaction number that it's processing with, so it generally will allow it. But again, if there's one of those instances where you're getting an error, then give support a call and we can definitely get that answered for you.
And the next question is, if the batch for the original payment is closed, will it need to be reopened before beginning the refund process?
Excellent question. Actually, no. You don't have to reopen the original batch unless you wish to. The factors being, if this is something that you're refunding from months ago and you've already closed out the month, you generally don't want to do that. You want to just use a current batch to do this process. If it's within the same month and the batch is closed for whatever reason, you can do that. If you've already closed the month out, I don't recommend reopening a previous batch. Okay.
All right. Can partial refunds only be done with a new version of Rapattoni?
The partial refunds have actually been in place since about version, I believe, 9.2810. However, we would want you to upgrade to the newest version if you are going to upgrade now. So if you're anything below 9.2810, then you will need to have an upgrade.
And what if you've updated member history?
If you've updated member history, the refund will still happen, and the history will be when the refund happens, the refund is sent back to the card. When you're doing the portion that we showed how to account for it in the GL, we are actually reducing that local dues by that negative amount invoice, and when you update to history the next time, that information will go to the dues history, so it will be accounted for.
And when you have a credit on the account, can you do a refund with the same process?
The answer to that is no. This is an issue credit if you have an actual amount of receipt. If you have a credit on the account, unfortunately, we cannot send a credit per se if there's no actual receipt against it for a positive value. We can discuss with you options of taking care of those types of credits if you just want to give support a call.
And does this work the same way for class or event cancellations?
The answer to that is actually no as well, because with class or event registrations, you actually have to take care of that in the registration itself. Because it's tied to a registration, in order to credit the person back for a card, you must actually cancel the registration and follow the procedures from there. Okay, so it looks like that's the end of our questions right now. Oh, it looks like there's one more.
Will this work for both NAR e-commerce and also PayPal processors? PayPal, rather.
Yes, actually it will work for both. So there is, it will work exactly the same actually for both of them. Okay. All right, well, we would like to thank you very much for attending our webinar. And also we would like to discuss actually our next scheduled webinar, which is on March 30th at 11 a.m. And our topic is maintaining the non-member salespersons count. In addition, if you would like to see our upcoming webinars, if you'd like to go to our website, we have a section that will show you what our upcoming webinars are and give you the opportunity to register for them as well. So if you go here to our site, which is www.rapattoni.com, and you're going to click on support, and come to Rapattoni Magic. And down here are webinars and training videos. And this will give you a list of everything that's coming up for you, as you can see here, where you have the ability to register for this one as well. And then this will give you more information on each of them. In addition, if you scroll all the way to the bottom of this section, you will see that we have our webinars recorded for you. So if there's any information that you've missed during any of the presentations, you have the opportunity to view them again. Okay, so again, with that, we thank you very much. And at the end of you'll be emailed, a survey regarding this webinar and future webinars. Please take the time to take a look at it and answer as many questions as you can. In addition, there is a section for suggesting upcoming webinar topics. So we welcome any suggestions. And again, we thank you and have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much.